Hello, and welcome to the Train the Trainer for Learning Session 5, Celebrating Success, Our Plans in Action. My name is Brianna Holmes, and I'm one of the content specialists here at the National Early Care and Education Learning Collaborative Project Office in Washington, D.C. Our agenda today will cover the information presented in the PowerPoint presentation and in the implementation guide. Since this is not the actual presentation, we will not show the slides, but just do a quick overview of them and hopefully answer any questions or concerns that you may have. The information that we are presenting is available in your implementation guide and participant handbook, so you may want to have that out and follow along so it makes it easier to understand the topics that we are discussing. Learning Session 4 review. As you arrive at Learning Session 5, welcome all participants back. Distribute the Learning Session 4 post-test and the Learning Session 5 pre-test. Once you have received all the evaluation forms, begin your review of Learning Session 4. Remember that since this is the last learning session, the Learning Session 5 post-test will be taken at the end of the day. Discuss with the participants their thoughts and feelings on Learning Session 4. What about Learning Session 4 interested them the most? What did they feel was the most valuable section of the learning session? Use these questions to help guide your technical assistants, but also please provide the information to us on the feedback forms. Since you do not have a lot of time, this can be used as a short check-in because you do have an opportunity during the breakout groups to discuss this further. Use the Learning Session 4 morning breakout group discussion notes to guide your discussion. You will use the Learning Session 4 notes located in the implementation guide and remind those participants that they will continue to implement the best practices outlined in their long-term action plans and encourage them to create program policies to support the best practices. Learning Session 5 content. We will now review the content of this learning session. During this review, as previously mentioned, it will be helpful to have your participant handbook and implementation guide out as a reference. Part A, presenting storyboards. Choose how you would like to conduct this segment. As done in Learning Session 3, it may be easier for you to do what you did previously or try something new. So of course you can do it in large groups, small TA breakout groups, or as a gallery walk. So feel free to modify this segment based on the group size, layout of the room, and the time. Since you're already familiar with presenting storyboards, just use your best knowledge as to what you want to do and what worked well for you and what didn't. If possible, use this segment to invite national, state, and local stakeholders to attend the presentations in order to make a direct connection with the organization or initiative and the early ECE program's role. This is an awesome time to get community organizations invested in the project and to show off the great work that the programs have been doing over the course of the project. Try to contact a representative of one of the listed organizations to present during this section. This is an opportunity for participants to receive specific information and resources that they may not have previously received. Remember, provide materials so that the participants can use to take down notes and ideas. Additionally, this section also covers those organizations that can support ECE programs to meet their long-term action plan goals, but they're not as intense of descriptions as you may get if you have a local representative. So we do just a general overview, but we do provide enough information so programs know who to reach out to and exactly what the program is all about. The highlighted programs are SNAP-Ed, or Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program goals, Supplemental Assistance Program Education, EFNEP, Expanded Food and Nutrition Education Programs, local health department or hospital initiatives such as the Breastfeeding Friendly Hospitals, Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children, otherwise known as WIC, Child and Adult Care Food Program, CACFP, Quality Rating and Improvement System, or QRIS, and licensing. The ABCs of a Healthy Me, this is just a brief overview from Learning Session 1. During this time, you will distribute the large ABCs of a Healthy Me poster to each program. Also, you'll play the video, How Do National and State Best Practice Guidelines videos support your work to help children grow up healthy? As usual, the video can be found on the companion USB if you do not have internet access. Part C, staff wellness. During this segment, you will review the benefits of staff wellness in the workplace. Conduct the Mindful Minute activity. This activity can be found in the implementation guide. The activity really should take no longer than a minute, which kind of goes along with the name, Mindful Minute, and is most effective when the room is completely quiet. So really encourage participants to take time out to really conduct this activity so that they get an idea of some things that they can do with their staff. Review the 101 low-cost ideas for worksite wellness tip sheet. Facilitate a large group discussion and ask participants to identify 3 tips that they would like to incorporate in their daily or monthly planning. Emphasize the importance of accountability when it comes to starting a new routine. Having a support system is key to being successful in making changes, and fellow teachers can be that support system that is needed. Introduce the participants to the SuperTracker website and encourage them to share it with their parents and program staff as a guide for them to begin making healthy changes. It allows you to insert your personal information, including your height, weight, age, and activity level. SuperTracker then uses the information to develop calorie and food group recommendations. It also contains a food database so that you can track the foods you eat every day and compare them to the recommendations that are provided. If you have any local staff wellness activities that are going on, please feel free to insert it on the slide. Part D, healthy recipes. This segment requires a little more preparation prior to the learning session. So you'll choose 3 to 4 recipes from the Meals Without Squeals Child Care Feeding Guide and Cookbook. The recipes can be found on pages 113 through 188. Shop and prepare the ingredients prior to the learning session. So during the session, designate different areas of the room as recipe stations and set them up using recipe cards, ingredients, kitchen equipment, and materials. Please be mindful as you set up the recipe stations of the space of your room. So you may not be able to do 3 or 4 stations. You may only be able to do 2. So use your better judgment just to see as to what will work effectively. Distribute the Meals Without Squeals Child Care Feeding Guide, 1 per program. Split the participants into small groups and ask each group to make their assigned recipe. Part E, active play, fun physical activities for young children. You will reintroduce the participants to the Dr. Kraft Active Play book and accompanying DVD. They should have received these in Learning Session 3. The DVD shows Dr. Kraft implementing various activities from her book and early childhood programs using a musical background. The DVD also has an option that includes Dr. Kraft's voiceover, or what she calls her teacher thinking, when she discusses what she sees, why she makes the decisions, and what adaptations need to be made. Choose and conduct 2 activities from the book. Facilitate a large group discussion addressing the questions that are listed in the notes section of the presentation or in the implementation guide. After conducting the discussion, use the DVD to play 1 video and prompt the discussion on how to modify that specific activity. Remember to discuss how to modify the activity to make it age and developmentally appropriate for all children cared for in the program. Part F, facilitating change in your program. Use the Learning Session 5 afternoon breakout group notes to facilitate a discussion around how programs will continue to implement their long-term action plan goals and how they can create program policies to help support best practices. Conduct the Keep It Up activity. This is one of the peer learning protocols, and it's a fun activity that will get participants up and moving, and also the questions prompted as work on goal setting. As you close the learning session, leave your participants with a feeling of comfort and understanding of how to continue to implement changes within their program. So discuss with the programs that even though this is the last learning session, they will continue to receive additional support and technical assistance for up to 6 months. Encourage the programs to take advantage of this opportunity. Continue to work and support them on meeting their long-term action plan goals. As you continue to provide technical assistance, encourage the programs to continue to document their changes. They can continue to do storyboards, post pictures on bulletin boards, just to encourage them to keep doing what they've been doing. Have them share their successes with their families as well. Remember, this is encouragement for them to continue their long-term action plan goals, and reinforce that to them. Let them know that we don't want them just to stop because the learning sessions are complete or the 6 months is over, but to really use this as a lifestyle or something regular that's in their program. The participants will complete a lot of paperwork at the end of this learning session. The Learning Session 5 post-test, the Learning Session 5 feedback forms, and the Let's Move Child Care quiz. Please make sure all documents are filled out and return them to your project coordinator, who will send them to Gretchen Swanson Center for Nutrition. Distribute the completion certificates to all the participants. You should receive them prior to your actual learning session, so verify with your project coordinator as to having them received and completed beforehand. Use this time to complete any final details regarding stipends or additional requirements from your state for completion of the project. Once the session is complete, set aside about 15 minutes to debrief and complete the feedback forms. Congratulations, you have completed the Learning Session 5 webinar. I hope that you feel more confident, prepared, and ready to facilitate your final learning session. If you have any additional questions, please contact your project coordinator, the other content specialist, Katie Swanson, or myself at the contact information provided. Thank you and have a great day.